Om Shanti. Today in the Murli, I have picked some interesting things, and of course, the Murli has many more. But the first thing I would like to talk about today is Baba says, souls are separate from bodies. A mind, intellect, and memory or chit are part of each soul's. A soul comes and enters a body in order to play a part. So you see that we always give this example of a CD and a CD player. So the whole thing that is to be played is contained in the CD. And the CD player is just an instrument to express what is contained inside the CD. Similarly, the soul has everything that is expressed through the body. So I have a mind, I have an intellect, buddhi, and then I have a chit. Chit is, you could call it the subconscious, you could call it the memory track. It is full of impressions, it is full of whatever I have taken away from the numerous events that I've been through and the numerous associations I have been through in this whole journey. So, whenever I, the soul, am playing my part on the stage, then I have interactions. And after every interaction, there is a residue left inside me. An impression that stays with me. And that the whole collection of those impressions is the chit. Now, the thing is, I am a soul, and this man, buddhi, and chit are a part of me. And I take them wherever I go. And based on that, everything else is attracted by me. So, I attract as I am. And the quality of my man, buddhi, and chit decide and define how I'll be or what will be my context next. So, Baba in the Murli is talking about this thing, that the quality of my man, buddhi, and chit is the basis of my onward journey. And I will like to read the whole thing to you. So Baba says, a soul comes and enters a body in order to play a part. You know that when someone leaves his body, he goes and plays another part. So that someone is the soul, yes? And so what would be achieved by your crying? He has left and gone away, so he is not coming back to become your maternal or paternal uncle. So even if an uncle goes away, so left the body, gone away, you cry, they are not going to come back and again be your maternal or paternal uncle. So Baba says, what is the benefit of crying? Your mama departed and is now playing a part according to the drama. Many souls go like that. They would go and take birth somewhere else. Now the important thing is you understand that the more obedient a soul is, obedient to whom? Obedient to Baba. Yes, so the more obedient a soul is, the better the home he takes birth in would be. Those who go from here would go to a good home. It is number wise. Again, it's not like you go from here, you get a good home, definitely. It's again number wise according to what you have done. So Baba says, whatever actions you perform, you go into a home accordingly. At the end, you will go and take birth in a royal family. So Baba says that whatever you do will create a state of your mind, intellect, and chit, and that you will take with yourself. Now, I've taken up this point first today because it is very important that we understand that two things. A, I'm on the Karam Kshetra, so I'm on the field of action. And in this Karam Kshetra, I do not have the option to not act. So no, you will always think, you will always talk, you will always do. That's the Karam Kshetra. Even if you are lying down and sleeping, that's an act. So there is no option of not acting. And then we will always have a context of action. So there'll be people, there'll be events, there'll be something happening. And then amidst all of that, you will be acting. And today, Baba tells us that, so just note what Baba has said. Baba says, so Baba has cited a situation, and then Baba says, in that case, there is no difference between those who are in knowledge and those who are not. So, there has to be a difference between those who are in knowledge and those who are not. And what is the difference? So Baba says, Baba says that the bad omens of body consciousness enter and settle in. This is the number one illness. The father says children become soul conscious. It is the soul that does everything. So we are on the field of action and we are acting continuously. And the difference between somebody who has knowledge and somebody who doesn't have knowledge is souls who have knowledge do things soul consciously or are supposed to do things soul consciously. And those who don't have knowledge do everything body consciously. Now, when you do when you perform action soul consciously, then you care about what that action is doing to your man, buddhi, and chit. And the thing is, you cannot change your state of man, buddhi, and chit without doing anything. So you have to use this stage and the situations and the events and the time and the space that this world gives you to create karma that makes your mind peaceful, powerful, loveful, and your intellect full of divinity and wisdom, and your chit clean and clear. And for that, you have to do seva and remembrance. So, remembering Baba and doing seva, these are the two ways in which you can change your man, buddhi, and chit, the condition of your man, buddhi, and chit. And when you are soul conscious, you have a lot of clarity why you are doing what you are doing. Yes, so you are doing everything for yourself because you have to go forward and take your man, buddhi, and chit with yourself. So you want to purify it, you want to empower yourself, you want to do stuff that Baba says so that you can make a more powerful, purer, and peaceful you before you leave from here, so that you get a better context tomorrow. Yes. And when a body conscious, a soul who is body conscious does action in the world, so everybody is doing karma. That's the beauty of it. So there is nobody who is not doing karma. So this is a field of action. This is a karam kshetra, and everybody is doing something or the other. But when you do it in a body conscious fashion, then you do it not because of what it makes you, but because of what it gives you physically. So, you are more interested in the things that matter in this world. Yes, for example, even if it's not about things or money or, emotional support, then it's about whether somebody has praised you or defamed you, or whether they are nice to you or not nice to you. So earlier we were interested, and our decisions to do something or continue doing something was based on this body conscious approach. Yes, we always did things because we got something physically, or there was appreciation involved, or even, a cooperative soul involved. So, we just did something because somebody was nice and we wanted to help them. So there is a lot of difference between your intention for the action when you are soul conscious and when you are body conscious. Do you get the difference? Yes. So when you're soul conscious, you don't do things because you like it, or somebody likes you, or you like someone, or you understand that you are doing it because good karma is important. And even if you have to do good karma with souls, there is a scene where you have to cooperate with souls whose sanskars are very different from yours. That doesn't become a problem for you, because you are not doing that because they are nice to you or because you like their company. You are doing it for the simple reason that seva is important. And seva cannot be done alone most of the time. So, whenever you have to do seva, you have to do it with someone. And when you do it with that someone, you don't have to like them to do seva with them. Yes, they should not be the reason why you choose to do seva. They should not be the reason why you choose to leave seva, because if they are the reason why you choose to do seva, then they will become the reason why you choose to leave seva. So we have to have a lot of clarity about why we are doing what we are doing. So I have come to Baba, I have surrendered to Baba. Why? Because I have understood that whatever Baba is teaching me is for my upliftment. And it is about, and what Baba is making me will make me deserve a place in heaven tomorrow. So this has made sense to me. That's why I've come to Baba. And then I understand that Gyan, Yog, Dharana, Seva, these are the 4 subjects that will make me eligible spiritually for heaven, right? So I have to do that anyway. It doesn't matter who I do it with. It doesn't matter whether they are nice to us, not nice to us. It doesn't matter where I'm living, whether those conditions are favorable, not favorable. Because I have to use every opportunity, every second of my time to become pure, to earn spiritual income by doing seva, to stay in remembrance, and to imbibe the truth that Baba is telling me. I have to use this whole platform to do that precisely until I leave the body and reach my destination. So, if you have clarity about why you're doing what you're doing, then the challenges that you face will become very easy to face. And if you don't have clarity about why you're doing what you're doing, then there is a slight challenge, and then you start questioning, if there is somebody with you in seva who chooses not to be a king and they choose to be a subject tomorrow, do you have to leave your opportunity to be the king by seeing what they are doing? So Baba says that there are many children who don't understand this thing about soul consciousness and body consciousness. And in this body conscious world, so when we say this word body conscious, so body conscious has many offshoots. So lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. They are all manifestations of body consciousness, because when you are body conscious, you do something to get something in the physical world, get something that matters in this physical world. And so we have always been driven by lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. Yes, and when we are doing spiritual seva or following Shrimat of remembering Baba, then it is very altruistic. Yes, it gives you something, definitely. It gives you a spiritual, elevated state or an income, but it's very altruistic because it doesn't give you something that matters in this physical world and something tangible. So I will also tell you here that there is this one sister, and she asked me this interesting question. She said, Didi, when we serve through the mind, do mansa seva, send blessings to souls, then how do we figure out whether those blessings are reaching them or not? So I said, why do you need to figure out whether they are reaching them or not? So she said, no, it's important, when we do something, we should know, we should be able to figure out whether they are reaching them or not. So I said, that's the difference between spiritual seva and physical seva, because if again, you calculate and do this, then it will become very ego-based. So everything that we do in the yajna is altruistic, not because it doesn't give you anything, but because it gives you what you can't see immediately. And that's why you need the buddhi, you don't need the ego to do it. Because when you get something tangible and something that you get immediately, then the ego will drive you to do it. Then why does God have to come and motivate you every day? Then the fruit that is tangible and that you get immediately will be motivation enough for you to do it. But why does Baba has to leave his abode in the soul world and come and teach us and motivate us? Because he is motivating you to do something, the fruit of which is not immediate or tangible. Yes, and he is motivating us to do things that will earn you a spiritual income and divine sanskars, which you will see at the end and which you will go with and find your destination. But immediately, it requires surrender to Baba, surrender to Baba's Srimad, and understanding and realizing what it's doing to your man, buddhi, and chit. Because you ask any BK, can they see anything on the external that has changed? Not much. But you ask them, can they look inside and see how they are changing as people? They say yes. Their mind is changing, the way they look at things, the way they discern and decide is changing. Their chit, which was very heavy earlier, is now light and powerful and full of, it feels healthy. So that is the driving motivation. But you have to really take moments where you detach from this body conscious awareness and see what's happening inside. So earlier, the person that I was couldn't sit with myself for 5 minutes, and today I've started to enjoy my company, and not only enjoy my company, I feel like I visited a beautiful garden when I sit with myself. So that's the transformation, and that's what should be the motivation for us to face the challenges that we do in meditation or in seva. So, in seva also, if it is about physical seva, then your sanskars of laziness or your sanskar of maybe, not using your body enough for work will stop you. Or if it's your mind, then your mind, which is so used to passive thinking, just take and feel pleasure. That mind, if you want it to work and create something beautiful and elevated, it will resist you. Or when it comes to money, then your sanskar of selfishness and greed and self-centeredness will stop you. But then how do you deal with all those sanskars? So when you're soul conscious, you will be interested in dealing with these sanskars and crossing them, and then making good of your time, thought, wealth, everything. So Baba says, seva is not a small subject, remembrance is not a small subject, and you need the attitude of soul consciousness in order to be consistently, in seva or in remembrance. So Baba says, and soul consciousness has to be practiced. So, the more you look at yourself as a soul, you start understanding your loss, your gain. So a soul wherein soul consciousness is able to discern the intangible gifts that you're getting. And when you're body conscious, then the intangibles don't matter. Then the intangibles don't make sense to you. So this is about it. And Baba today says that, Baba says, you should do service in happiness. The thought of doing service flies away as soon as you see the face of someone with whom you don't get on well. So, I tell you, you do seva with this one and you say, okay, I'm not feeling too well, I'll do seva some other day. So, why? Because you don't want to do seva with that one. So, Baba says, then you lost your chance to do seva. And that's a big loss. So if your sanskar of not being cooperative to someone or laziness or greed or selfishness stops you from seva, then that's a very big loss. So Baba says, become soul conscious. When you are not interested in doing service, you step away from everyone. Then there is no difference between those who are in knowledge and those who are not. So knowledge changes our motivations, knowledge changes our intentions, knowledge changes why we do something, how we do something, and for what we do something. And if that has not changed and we are still operating in the body conscious way, then we will be very heartbroken. So that's not how. So, when we are in seva also, I always tell the sisters who are with me, you have not come to live with me. You've come here for Baba. Always keep Baba in front of you and do everything. Yes. So even when you don't like something about me, you will be able to overcome it. Yes. But if you do everything for me, then you will not be able to overcome what you don't like about me. And what you don't like about me is not necessarily unlikable. It just means you don't like it. Okay, so that's also there, because our likes and dislikes are not based on truth. They are based on our sanskars. Yes, and they are based on our sanskars, and everybody, so we are all looking at life through the filter of our sanskars. And that's why nobody's, so, I sometimes have this very interesting, I don't know, I think bizarre also, but I sometimes have this fantasy to just look at how 5 people are looking at the same thing differently. So although the physical reality is the same, our individual realities are very different. Very, very different. And there is nothing that I can do about how another person experiences their individual reality. So we have to all work with each other and yet understand that we are doing it for ourselves. Even following Shrimat is about myself. Because Shrimat, the definition of Shrimat is that which makes you Sresht, that which makes you elevated. So we are doing it for ourselves. And then Baba today says, this is a pilgrimage and a spiritual pilgrimage, and always stay on this pilgrimage. And there is a very good line that Baba says, when people go on a pilgrimage, they have to forget about all their business and household interaction with everyone. So, they leave the physical part behind and they take the body and the sanskars with them. But here, when you go on the spiritual pilgrimage, you have to leave everything down here, and you, the soul, have to go. Yes, you, the soul, have to leave your old sanskars, your old buddhi, everything physical. You have to detach yourself from everything old of this world, and then you can go towards that one which is ever pure. So you connect your man buddhi to Baba. So you have to leave everything down here. How many times do you really leave everything down and go? So even your old sanskars and your old identity of who you are, and just see yourself as that tiny little spark of light and fly, just like you are. So you have to keep a chart of how much are you on the pilgrimage, because just like people say that when you go on a pilgrimage, it is said in bhakti but it's not true, but anyways they say that you go and earn you earn some punya when you go on this pilgrimage. But here, if you really perform this true pilgrimage, leave everything down, even your old identity and your old sanskars, you leave here and just move yourself and connect with Baba. So that tiny point of light with the man, buddhi, and sanskar flies to Baba with the original man, buddhi, and sanskar and leaves everything else down here. Then Baba says, you will get a peaceful mind, a divine buddhi, and clear chit and divine sanskars if you keep doing this. So Baba says that's the benefit of going on this pilgrimage. And then when you become that divine version of yourself, then you will not have to come back to the impure world. Those pilgrims, they return to the impure world, right? But we don't have to return to the impure world. If we do this enough, then we'll end up in the pure world. So this is something that Baba says. And so, I always think about this thing that we have a lot of attachments. And so, even when I'm sitting straight, it's not just because of the soul conscious Swaman that I have. So, there are many things that allow you to have the confidence that you have, or have the idea of self-worth, or I am valuable. So everything that you have and you do, and there are so many reasons which you count in, which you take into consideration in order to feel worthy and feel valuable. And if we just took away all those reasons, I don't know whether, will still sparkle. So I don't know what the condition inside is. So it's very interesting to just drop everything for a few moments and just see yourself how you are, bereft of those bandages of ego. Sometimes the wound is so covered with the bandage that the wound doesn't look like a big deal, but when you open it up, it's a big deal. So it's very important that you open yourself up and then let the light enter, because the healing has to be done within. If you keep the bandages intact and allow the light of Baba to come, it is not going to enter. And the wound stays there and the bandage only shines brighter. So probably, in meditation also, instead of healing the self, we are sometimes brushing up the ego. So if you open up and allow Baba to enter you and do something to you, then the healing will take place. And if you just sit with this whole body conscious bandage and then keep drawing the light, then the light doesn't enter, it just makes the bandage shine brighter. So this is something that we need to do, and we have to leave everything and just detach and see ourselves as we are, and then remember Baba and then fill ourselves. And this whole exercise is very important. And then there is the slogan today. And before the slogan, Baba says, only when you explain to hundreds of thousands and millions will some rare souls emerge. You have to explain to many. And I was yesterday really thinking about this. So There are so many souls in the world who have no idea even that I am a soul. No, absolutely no idea I'm a soul. And and do you care for them? How much seva do we need to do for every soul to at least know I'm a soul and I can move my buddhi from here to the soul world and experience peace? It's so important that every soul learns that the man and buddhi are part of them and they can move it from outwards to inwards to upwards and then experience the company of their father or the soul world. It's very important, and we have to do so much seva before they get it, because a gross intellect needs so much of work to be done before this knowledge sits in the buddhi. So Baba says this thing today that, pay attention to both your pilgrimage of remembrance and seva. Both of them. We have to pay a lot of attention to it. And then in the slogan, Baba says something very true, and the truth is, words that give souls one type of attainment or other are true versions. So Baba says, these days people say, oh, but I don't mind if they got hurt. I was saying the truth. So Baba says the truth is supposed to make the other person feel I got something. If you say something and they lose a part of their dignity or self-worth, or they start doubting themselves, or they have contempt for themselves, that's not true version. So Baba says, anything that makes them go higher and uplifts them, that's true. And if it doesn't uplift them, you better reserve that truth to yourself. Don't speak it up. So say something that makes someone feel I got something, Even if it's a correction, that person should feel I got the correction. If they feel I lost my dignity and they insulted me, then there's some problem with the way I'm speaking the truth. So Baba says, true versions are those which make someone feel that they attained something or the other. And if they take away their sense of who they are and what they have and their value and self-worth, and they make them feel loss in the form of, loss of dignity or loss of anything, then that's not a true version. Okay. So this is today's Murli. Om Shanti.